Okay, we're live. Checking audio. Right meow.
Right, meow.
Right meow. Not
Meow.
kitten. We'll talk about the kitten game in a little bit.
Oh God, no.
Um, refreshing.
Let's
Oh,
not talk
it's-
about the kitten game.
Wait,
Okay,
let me mute this.
do what?
I'm gonna say calico or whatever that was. That catacuffs or furricuffs,
Fistifluffs.
Fistifluffs.
fistifluff,
Yeah.
And what
and
was
cat.
it?
It doesn't. They both look terrible.
Hey, look! Don't announce it. Hi, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another exciting podcast known as Next Gen Newsweek. Your podcast for all things Nintendo Indie World Showcase and PS5. Who went? Ugh, it was a good show. It was 15 minutes. It was a good show. You may notice that our squares are a little mixed up. It's because we have a special guest. He's right there. It's Chase. Everybody knows Chase. Chase is known by everybody. It's Chase. It's Richard's arch rival. His arch enemy.
And everything PlayStation.
Richard, why don't you real quick? That's Richard. Everybody
Everybody knows me.
everybody knows Richard. Richard, tell everybody why Chase is your arch enemy.
He has a higher trophy score than me on PSN, and that's pretty much it. It doesn't go much deeper than that. It's very shallow.
Okay, continuing on the left, we have Michael. In the bottom left, and top left, we have Steven.
Yo.
So we've been talking about the Game Awards for like 3 weeks now, and this will be probably the last time we bring it up. I know you love hearing about the Game Awards, but we're mostly gonna be talking about the games that were announced. But real quick, Michael, No Man's Sky finally won a Game Award, and it's only been out for 5 years.
Yikes.
No Man's Sky picked up Best Ongoing Game, so congratulations to who makes it. Hello Games.
Hello Games.
Hello, games, and they really deserve it. They do.
Yeah.
They honestly really do.
Yeah. Also, pretty much The Last of Us Part 2 like took home like everything. So congratulations Naughty Dog, but also congratulations to the developers behind Phasmophobia for winning debut indie game. Like, woohoo! Phasmophobia is a great game. So. Anyway, so like I said, we're going to be mostly talking about the games from the Game Awards. There was a lot of games announced, so I thought it'd be more easy to kind of just round table this for everybody. Just takes a turn talking about a game that really just piqued their interest from the Game Awards. So let's start with our special guest, Chase.
Oh, let's see the new Dead Space game, Callisto Protocol.
Mhm.
That one looked really, really cool. I mean, there's not any gameplay, but it looked really good, and was really blown away about Ark 2. And I played the beta for Ark, but I never really got into it.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're going to go for more like an action style game, I'll probably be really into that.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really been into Ark. I tried playing it a long time ago. I think it probably still was in beta when I tried playing it. I just couldn't get into it. But any game that's good enough for Vin Diesel to be in it, I'm going to actually hold up, because he was in that Fast and the Furious game that came out a few months ago. Any game other than the Fast and the Furious game that came out a few months ago with Vin Diesel in it, I'm sold. But you know what we need next from him is the Pacifier. You're just a game where you're babysitting. You're like a FBI agent babysitting a bunch of kids and defending them from ninjas. Like, I need that as a game. As far as Callisto Protocol goes, like, I've never played Dead Space. Back when those games were popular, I was a wee lad and was not into the spooky games. But Callisto Protocol definitely seems like it's almost like a spiritual successor to Dead Space. It looks really cool. Everyone else have any thoughts on Callisto Protocol or Ark 2?
Go ahead.
Me and Steven were talking about it just before the show. I mean, it's an interesting concept because it's made by the same people who did Dead Space, but it's evidently in the PUBG universe.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it's going to be a PUBG style game, but that's interesting.
I want to see gameplay, but
Yeah.
that is really
So-
weird.
So does Tencent have anything to do with this game at all?
Give us $12 and you won't get scared by this alien. Richard, anything to add to it?
I'm not into sci-fi horror. Just doesn't do anything for me. So
What about Ark?
no. Remember, I made the comment: games with dinosaurs. I just don't know. Doesn't work for me.
Well, fine then. Well, okay, Richard, what does work for you then? What is on your radar?
Are we just talking about the Game Awards now? We're gonna
Yeah.
do Indie World later. Okay, gotcha.
Hold up. Wait. Michael,
What?
we need to talk about your sign, dog.
Yes.
So I'm a Leo normally, but I really don't pay attention to.
For anyone listening to the audio version of this, Michael has a sign up that says your mom has a nice butt. It's perfect. And she probably does. But anyway, continue, Richard.
Man, I don't know if I'm going to spend like a lot of time on any one of these. The Mass Effect, I know the last one, Andromeda, was terrible, but I'm willing to give them another shot because the original trilogy run I was into. So Mass Effect, as long as they improve on what they had before in the beginning, that should be pretty good. Ghosts and Goblins, arcade classic from the 80s. We haven't seen that in a long time. Perfect Dark, that's another one from the Nintendo 64 era that I'm excited about that, kind of a dark world where corporate oligarchs control everything and it's all bad. We wouldn't know anything about that. Shady Part of Me, I love those artsy fartsy style games. And I think that's actually out now. Evil Dead, I thought that looked really interesting, but I don't know if there's actually any gameplay in that video. I think that was just all video and not actual gameplay footage. So I don't know if that's like one of those online multiplayer, not like an arena thing, but I don't know exactly what type of game that is, so I may or may not be on board.
Are you thinking it may be kind of like Dead by Daylight or Friday the 13th?
That's something that's just not like more than likely it is because that's what it looks like, but I need to see more on it. Loop Hero, to me, looked really, really interesting. I like the whole, 8-bit retro thing. Evil West, I don't know. That could be one of those kind of style games where I don't want to say, like I make a comparison with like God of War or something like that, but maybe like Darksiders, something similar like that, like an action. And then Crimson Desert really is what blew me away, simply because the way the game changes during combat, that gritty like camera look and everything, God, that was intense and gorgeous. If you were asking me to pick just one trailer out of that whole show that really wowed me, it would be Crimson Desert.
See, my pick for best trailer was not even like an actual game reveal. But I think the fact that Sephiroth killed Mario has got to be like the highlight of the Game Awards. Like, I know it was a fake out, but for a good 10 seconds, the world just stopped turning because Sephiroth killed Mario. What I'm talking about is they're adding Sephiroth to Smash Brothers. Actually, I think tomorrow. So depending on when you're listening to this, he may already be out. But yeah, that was like the most hyped trailer for Smash Brothers. And I don't like Final Fantasy, but just seeing Mr. Longsword Boy just impale Mario in like the most gorgeous cutscene I've ever seen was just like, it was beautiful. I guess, well, since I only have one thing left on my list of things because Callisto Protocol is my other one, but Back for Blood, a spiritual reboot of Left 4 Dead, like, heck yeah, sign me up. It literally looks just like, it looks like what Left 4 Dead 3 would be. Like, if they ever actually made one. Valve. But, I don't know. Do y'all ever play Left 4 Dead? Or is that like something, because I spent most of my teenage years playing Left 4 Dead 2. Like, was that like something y'all spent a lot of time playing?
I've played it some, and I probably should have played it more, but I don't know. I have a hard time just picking up games sometimes.
I'm zombied out, man. I'm totally zombied out.
But there's so many good zombie games.
There's too many zombie games.
But there's too many good ones.
Give it half a generation console and then come out with another one.
Like, I think if you look, like, I know that there are games that have, lots of games that have, like, zombies modes, but if you look at, like, just zombie games, I think the top one on the list is The Walking Dead Survival Instinct. I'm kidding, but
I was about to say,
it's like the worst. It's like the worst one. It's the worst one. It was the best zombie game you can play on the Wii U. If that tells you anything. No, I think World War Z. I never actually played it, but that game did really well. That was probably the best one from like this current generation. But before that, though, like, it's got to be Left 4 Dead. I can't even think of any other good zombie games that have come out since, like, in between Left 4 Dead and World War Z. I'm sure there's some.
I don't know. Like, I was a big fan of the. Actually, it was one of the deciding factors for an Xbox 360, the Dead Rising franchise.
Oh yeah, Dead Rising. Yeah,
Yep.
I did like Dead Rising. Yeah.
I really like the Days Gone.
yeah. I forgot
Days
about,
Gone was good too.
I forgot about
I've
Days
not-
Gone.
Yeah.
I've not played that yet. Thankfully, I mean, with the PS5, I have it now, but haven't picked it up.
Yeah, I meant to pick that game up, and then I don't know. Back in the time when that game came out, I was very into this mindset of, oh well, if Metacritic says it's terrible, then it must be bad, and then I never played it. And
I was about to say, it didn't do well though, review wise, did it?
no, it's
It
kind of like a
didn't.
cult hit.
Yeah,
It was a good game.
Yeah. Actually, I guess, I'm leaving. I don't know how I left it out, but The Last of Us, I mean, that was a really good zombie game. Like, I don't know how I guess it's not really like focused on the zombies. It's more about how humans are dicks to each other aspect, and the zombies are just kind of there in the background. But
I mean, that's kind of you gotta think. I mean, The Walking Dead. That's really what that's about too. Is really about the humans.
Didn't they announce the Walking Dead game a while back, like an action one?
yes, and I think it already came out, and no one's talking about it.
Didn't you
Talking
play?
about
You
the
play
VR
as
one?
Is it VR?
There is a VR one, and
Saints and Sinners.
yeah, Saints and Sinners. That's the regular Walking Dead game. It's already, I believe it's already out.
Yeah, it seems like I remember seeing something about you play as Daryl, and it seems like his brother's still alive.
That's
in the trailer.
That's Survival Instinct.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
that's the one we don't want to talk about.
Yeah. I guess a Walking Dead related announcement, since Michael's really big into Fortnite, you can now play as Daryl Dixon and Michonne in Fortnite. Michael.
Wait, so that's who that is.
Yeah.
That was on the splash screen. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it
right
is.
there. That's on Richard's TV.
Yeah. Looks exactly like him.
No, it doesn't.
Well, Michonne does.
If they were anime.
Yeah. Well, Michael, were there any other games that we haven't talked about that stuck out to you from the Game Awards?
Really just the art style grabbed me. I'm not sure if I'll have to see more gameplay, but Endless Dungeon?
Yeah.
It seems like an adventure MOBA style of gameplay. So that seems kind of interesting. I'd like to see more of that.
What about, well, actually, Steven, anything we haven't talked about yet?
Nah, you guys covered them all.
Well, well, dang.
You took all the good ones.
Okay, well, how about let's go through a couple. What about Hood, Outlaws, and Legends? Richard, didn't you, like, when that game was first shown off a few months ago, didn't you say something about that,
Dude.
how you liked it?
I got so excited, and then I found out that it was just like this 4-player multiplayer co-op thing, and I'm totally out. I don't like playing with other people. I really don't. Not like that. Not like that.
Well, a couple of just really quick things before we jump off this topic. Fall Guys Season 3 coming out. I think it's out now. If you play Fall Guys, you get the winter update. Among Us is getting a new map. And it's also, we're going to talk about this in a minute too, but Among Us is now out on the Switch, which no one was really thinking that was going to happen. And if you play Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, they just merged Warzone, Modern Warfare, and Cold War under a unified progression system. And Season 1 just started in that.
Do you have a price on the Among Us for Switch? I'm just curious if it's
Well, I haven't looked, but if it's the mobile version, it's free,
So-
but it doesn't come with any costumes. But if it's the
I
paid
think
version,
someone said online it was $5.
I was like, yeah, if it's the paid,
yeah. I was about to say it's probably like $4.99.
yeah, if it's the PC version, it's $5, but it comes with all the costumes. So, all right, well, let's jump. Let's jump from. We talked about Mass Effect, right? Richard, didn't you talk about it?
I brought it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much to go off that trailer, but it's gives you hopeful feelings, or at least it did for me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's jump over to Nintendo's Indie World Showcase, which happened yesterday. I was mentioning before we started recording, I'm not the biggest indie fan, but we lost Michael.
Oh.
There's Michael.
Oh, there he is.
And he's
There's
back.
Michael. He's back.
I'm back.
Richard, you said there was a lot of games on this list that you like too, so why don't you
man, I love
take
indie
it away?
titles. All right. Now these aren't in any specific kind of order, but Tunche, I hope I'm not butchering that. I love hand-drawn graphics. They're really awesome, and I love the whole 2D brawler aspect, like the old Double Dragon style things. So Tunche looks pretty cool. Cyber Shadow looks really, really cool because it looks like Ninja Gaiden and Mega Man had a baby. And it's made by it's not made by, at least I don't think. I think it's published by Yacht Club Games. Same people that made Shovel Knight.
Yep.
And Shovel Knight was incredible. So Cyber Shadow looks amazing. Happy Game. I love creepy shit. And that's like right up there. So
Yeah.
Happy Game really stood out as something
That's
awesome.
like the one highlight from that whole thing that I was like, oh my god, I have to play this game. It just looks
I want to
bonkers.
watch a trailer without those two people talking during the whole damn thing because, God, that annoyed me the whole time I was watching that video. But Happy Game was awesome. Super Meat Boy, I've been a fan of Super Meat Boy ever since it came out initially.
Yeah.
And then Hazel Sky. Hazel Sky looked really interesting, but I need to see a little bit more about it because I can't tell enough from that trailer. And then something about Trash Pirates or something like that looks like one of those throwaway games you can play for a little bit and then toss it and come back to it. So might keep an eye on that one too.
Steven, anything to add into that before we accidentally talk over everything you want to talk about?
I already did it, but I'm going to talk anyway.
No, talk about Happy Games. See, I knew you probably wanted to talk about Happy Games, so I didn't really go into it.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that trailer, I was like, Steven needs to see this because this is right up his alley.
So with Happy Game, it reminds me of this fun yet quirky game that came out. I believe it was on PC. It's called Choo Choo. And it's just odd and it had weird aesthetics. And it also reminded me as far as like the atmosphere that it was giving off. There was I'm not sure if it's indie or not. I believe it is though. There was a game called Year Walk that came out, and it's kind of like a first-person side scrolling, which is kind of odd. I'll send a link after the podcast. But it had that aesthetic to where you didn't know what the hell was going on, but at the same time, it just pulled you in, and like you were interested to figure out what happened next. So I really want to play that game. Cyber Shadow. It doesn't remind me it does remind me of Mega Man and Ninja Gaiden Shinobi on the Sega.
Yeah.
And a game that most people don't even know about, Shatterhand, for the NES. When they had said something about the amiibos and I seen the little fairies that was floating around, it looked like the cybernetic fairies, I guess that's what they were in Shatterhand. It looked just like them. Side scrolling was the same. It gave me just that hack and slash vibe, and I just absolutely loved it. And Tunche, if you're going to have hand-drawn art like that in a video game, that is how you do it. That is how you do it, period. Yeah, I was kind of stoked about that. I know somebody made the joke in the chat that it was horrible, but I think we all know what was the horrible part of that reveal. The hosts.
Oh,
Yeah, the
you
host.
talking about
God, the host.
Kit and Krista from
Yeah.
Nintendo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was like, wait, there was
host.
something horrible in the trailer? Like, oh, it's just them
Yes.
talking. Okay.
Dude, Shatterhand looks dope, man.
Yeah, it is fun. I'm telling you.
And then Happy Game, it does have Chucho vibes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Jason,
Yeah,
anything oh, sorry, go ahead.
So I was going to say, the reason why I had mentioned the Mega Man thing with that game we were just talking about that I just totally blanked on the title of, Cyber Shadow. Apparently, like when you kill the bosses, you get that power that you can use later in the game. So that's what kind of rung the bell with the Mega Man vibe.
Yeah. Jason, anything in the indie world thing stand out to you?
The Super Meat Boy, Happy Game looked kind of cool. The Grindstone game looks really cool. Looks like an Adventure Time style game, but
Mhm.
I don't know. It looks like more like a mobile game. So kind of like,
You can only
It's
play
alright
this on your
console.
Switch in handheld mode
right.
with the Joy-Cons detached.
That's about it.
Yeah. Michael, anything?
No.
I don't play
Wow.
indie games. I just play Genshin Impact. Look at me, I'm Michael. Me, me, me.
I mean, I guess that's kind of an indie game. I don't know. Yeah, that's all I got time for, really.
Well,
That's all I have
Downloading
time for.
other games.
well,
And looking at
Time to
mom's nice
download
butt.
them.
well. Michael actually does have time for another game, and we're actually going to jump into it because Michael, what? Oh,
Just one.
just one
I
other
was just
game.
making a point of one.
Oh, okay. And that is this gigantic car crash that's happened across the gaming industry this past week, and that's Cyberpunk 2077. Because depending on what you're playing it on, you're either really loving this game or you absolutely hate it. Now,
Yeah.
I know Michael and I are playing on PC. Chase, what are you playing Cyberpunk on?
I'm playing on PS5.
Nice. So,
Yeah.
PS4 version on PS5, right? Technically.
Yeah, it's still better than the PS4 version, but still.
Yes. So, if you haven't been following this, Cyberpunk was originally supposed to come out in April, and it got delayed 3 times all the way back to December 16th, 17th, or 10th. No, whenever it came out. It came out like last week. Anyway, the reason why I got delayed was because they kept saying, well, we need to work on the console version of the game. We want to get the console version of the game running. And they got it running, but barely. And so before we actually talk about our experience with Cyberpunk, I just want to bring up the whole controversy behind it and about how Cyberpunk developer CD Projekt Red hid the base version, like the PS4 and the Xbox One version of the game from reviewers and from showing it online. And there's a lot of controversy about whether they did that on purpose or it was just, everyone just kind of goofed up on it. But Richard, as someone who hasn't played it, what are you, as an outsider looking into this scenario, how are you feeling about how all this has played out?
I feel like I'm sounding uppity if I say I'm not surprised. Yeah, I really like CD Projekt Red. The Witcher 3,
Yeah.
probably one of the greatest games I've ever played. The DLC was just, they know how to make really good games. But anytime, because, it almost reminds me of Mighty Number 9, which is supposed to be the spiritual successor to Mega Man. And, that thing got delayed and delayed and delayed. And I feel like anytime there's a game that, now I'm not talking about just like a delay or two. I'm talking about like where you see these delays that keep going on and on. And, eventually you get to a point where you just you're thinking, something's not right. And it does make you kind of hesitant. Now, I've been playing through, I had planned on playing Cyberpunk and getting it when it came out, but then, with the timing of the new consoles and everything, I ended up getting Demon Souls, Valhalla, and Immortal. So it did push, it made my own personal delay of Cyberpunk, and I'm kind of glad that it did now. But I don't know, I'm not surprised, and reading what I'm reading, I'm almost wondering if maybe they shouldn't have just cut their losses and not tried to make it a multi-generation game. and just made it a next gen game, or current, I guess is what it would be now.
Yeah. So as far as like the pre-orders and like everything like that, 51% of the people who bought Cyberpunk, which for as far as pre-orders alone was 8 million people who bought it, which is ridiculous. 51% bought on PC and the other 49% bought it on console. So, and you know, since there isn't a Series X PS5 optimized version, you're really just buying this base Xbox and PlayStation version, and then you're getting slight improvements depending on what console you're actually playing it on. But yeah, they've announced that they're going to start issuing refunds for people who want to, if they don't want to wait. They did say come February they should be ready to go for like the actual console version, which makes me think they should have just delayed Cyberpunk to to February anyway. But or like Richard said, just cut the losses and just make it not available. But I don't know. It's just this big hot mess.
I was about to say, I feel like they had already screwed the pooch, sort of. Like they were at a point where they couldn't just say, well, you know what, we're not going to do this for PS4 and Xbox One. So I think they were forced into a corner and they put out what they put out.
Yeah.
As far as like game development, even with the delay, they really still had the base game done. Anything they were still working on would have been day one patch.
Mm-hmm.
So there wasn't really like, I guess to them, game breaking that they were really trying to patch up. It was just trying to basically cover all the bugs and holes still that were in the game.
I really don't even think that, like, I mean, from my personal time with the game, I really haven't seen that many bugs. And I know there are like game crashing bugs, especially like if you're playing on an Xbox One or PS4. But I think the biggest thing people have a problem with is just performance. Like before the most recent update that only came out on the PS4, like it could barely hold 480p at 30, and it could even hit 30 frames at 480p, which is, it's kind of unacceptable. Like it's, especially for, like if you look at like The Last of Us, it's 4K 30 or 1080p 60, and then you've got Spider-Man and you've got Halo 5 and Gears 5 and everything. Like, I mean, they've had so long to make this game, and it is kind of, like I said, if you're playing on PC, it's a completely different story. But, playing on these console versions, it's a little bit different. But Chase, since you're playing on PS5, like I said, it's playing a better PS4 version currently. How has your experience been playing Cyberpunk?
So it's been good overall. I'm really enjoying the game, really enjoying the storyline, all the missions. I've had a few instances of just weird glitches, but nothing like crazy. Like it's crashed. It has been crashing pretty frequently. Usually, but when a crash happens, the game saves, auto saves pretty frequently. So when I do crash, I'll just load it back up, and a few minutes later, I'm back in the game. I've lost maybe a few minutes here and there, but nothing crazy. But it looks great. It looks incredible on the PS5.
Yeah, Michael. What about you? Like I said, I think your computer is like more powerful than mine. So like,
yeah.
Well, thanks.
Yes, it is.
For now.
Thank you for noticing.
For now,
Yes.
Just wait. Tax season's around the corner. That 3080's mine, boy.
Oh man. But I don't know. I think maybe at least for me there might be like a driver issue or something, like, or maybe I'm just expecting a whole lot more realism from the graphics. Like nothing has really blown me away about it so far. But I mean then again, I've only played like a whopping 15 minutes of it. So
Oh yeah.
You're not into anything yet.
yeah, I haven't done nothing yet.
Dang. Michael,
So-
you have one job after this show ends, and that's to play at least another 15 minutes of Cyberpunk.
I've gone on a awkward car ride, and that's it. That's all I've done.
That car ride is awkward. So judging by that, I'm assuming you took Street Kid.
Yeah.
Chase, is that what you picked too? It seems to be the popular one. Before we do,
I felt like that was the most Cyberpunk role. Otherwise, I wanted to do, I guess not the more utilitarian one, like the outsider type of people.
Nomad.
Nomads.
The nomad, yeah.
I wanted to do. If I decide if I do a second playthrough, I'm gonna do Corpo next because that just seems like you feel like you play as the bad guy, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But Steven, I know you haven't played it, but didn't you say you were getting it for your lady for Christmas? What?
You do know she watches this religiously, right?
Well, she already put in the chat she was getting it, so
I'm just getting it.
She was
Whether
getting
she's
it for
buying
herself,
it.
but she didn't know.
well. Whatever.
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers. You're getting Merry Christmas. My bad.
I will say
Don't
a
get her
physical
Cyberpunk now.
copy is the better deal, at least with like the PC version at least. You get a couple of the different like paper goods like postcards or whatever, and then you get the GOG download code, which is DRM free. So you can download it through GOG, you can boot it up with Steam if you want to, and you still get all the digital freebies. And then when you're buying the physical copy, you actually have the physical audio disc too, for the soundtrack to the game. So that's really nice.
Steven, I'm so sorry. Well, I was going to ask, the point I was trying to get across with that, if you hadn't bought it yet, was does hearing about all of this like negative press towards the PS4 version, does it hinder your like want to play it, or do you want to wait until the game comes out and is more polished up?
That part doesn't bother me. Just me personally, in my eyes, yeah, we've joked about and we're serious about the constant delays, concerned about the final push out because of leaks and everybody wanting this game, and kind of shaking our head at the end result of how things were going. But me personally, I'm only going to wait because they said they didn't have a patch available right now for the Xbox. So I'd be willing to play with the crashes and the glitches and stuff like that because I'm there to support them. When it comes down to a game, if you want to play it, you support these people. If they're actually going to give some type of effort for patches and bug fixes and stuff like that. But seeing that they don't have an idealistic time they're going to have this fixed for the Xbox, I'm not going to be playing it. Someone else is going to be playing it, and I'm probably going to be playing it on her system. But yeah, that's just how I feel about it. I'm invested in it from the moment I saw it, and I'm kind of going to stick with it, at least on the PlayStation version anyway.
Well, when I was talking about the patch that's out now, like, I mean, that patch is coming like sometime this week for Xbox. It's not like the Xbox version's delayed for like a month. It's, it's coming out. They may not roll out the exact time, but they're going to be like within a week of each other. But they said they have a patch. They have two patches coming out beginning of the year. They have one in January, one in February. And come February, it's supposedly going to be better on the systems.
Mitch, I've got the statement right here. It's patch number 1 in January. This will be followed by patch number 2 in February. Together, these should fix the most prominent problems gamers are facing on last-gen consoles.
So don't play until February.
Yeah, we will be informing you about the contents of each patch ahead of their release. They won't make the game on last-gen look like it's running on a high-end PC or next-gen console, but it will be closer to that experience than it is now.
And in March, we will sell an external GPU that you can plug into your Xbox One, your Xbox One and PS4.
Yes.
So you can play it in high fidelity mode. I gotta say, go ahead. Sorry.
I do want. I mean, I guess the problems are widespread enough that it's garnered this much attention. But I know that now my nephew's been playing it on Xbox One, and I mean, he says that it's buggy, but it's not. he's not ready to return it or anything. And then on Facebook, I think a mutual maybe friend or acquaintance of most of us, Josh Stanfield.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys, all right. So, he posted the other day, he said, I love this game and I don't really ever have any problems with it. Yes, it's a little buggy, but people forget that usually happens with open world games. There are always a few bugs to work out when it first comes out. I have it on the PlayStation 4 and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I think
so.
What possibly some of the issue might be, depending on which PS4 model you're playing on, because it could. Wow, I just really stuttered really bad. Sorry. If you're playing like PS4 Slim, that's still technically like a regular PS4. You could there might be some kind of difference in like the loading speeds off of the hard drive, which makes it like, I've just seen the videos of like the character V that you play as just walking up to some random NPC and they're just a mess of polygons and you're just sitting there waiting for all their textures to load in and it takes like 45 seconds. And it's like, if I wanted to talk to an NPC, I'm not going to stand there for 45 minutes or 45 seconds to wait for his like face to load in. Like it's a little too much. Or driving down the street, the billboard's
saw a rendering of that exact thing. Some guy, I forget what he's called, but evidently he does this a lot. He gets like low res. He makes games like super low res.
Oh, he's that guy that demakes games.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And like evidently the modding community is really hot for Cyberpunk right now. So they're all about like going into like modding open up settings to where you can turn off like global lighting and area lighting and draw distance and like there's a hard setting to like where it's like an old AMD thing where like they descale and then re-upscale the image so it makes it more crisp. And so they've hacked that, and so they've turned those settings way down, and like it looks like you're looking at like some like NES horror game. It's crazy.
Maybe for the next playthrough, I'll do that. That sounds like a lot of fun. Chase, you want to talk? Trying to avoid story-related spoilers, but your time in the game, though, like what you've been able to do you think that Cyberpunk has like, is there anything that you really like that Cyberpunk's done that a lot of like these open world RPG games haven't done?
It's nothing that hasn't been done so far. But it's like, I feel like it's combining a lot of the elements of GTA with Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of looting. You're getting like lots of different types of guns. You're finding out, you're equipping your best armor. Like sometimes it looks awful. Sometimes you're wearing a dress. I did have a glitch where whenever I was trying to equip my pants and my shoes, they weren't equipping, and I was just walking around from the waist down, just completely naked. But it was showing that they were equipped. That was a funny. That's some funny things.
You just walk around with your wing wang hanging out.
But that wasn't showing for some reason. But it was, I've just had some funny glitches, but nothing's been like really crazy. But as far as gameplay goes, like it's the game is it feels like it took me like a little while to get into it to figure out what was going on, because I've been trying to avoid as much spoilers as possible. But and then once I finally get into it and I'm getting into the gameplay, I'm really, really enjoying it. And like the story so far has been like really, really good.
Yeah. I think, it's so weird. Like, I actually really don't like the combat so far. Maybe it gets better. Cause I've heard like you get guns that just automatically lock onto people's heads and they're like, okay, that solves everything. But I'm a stealthy kind of player and I just run around with the katana and that's all I need. But, I really like and it's just a small little thing. And if you've ever played a first-person game and if you ever tried looking at your player model, like when you're like looking down, you just see like a plank and like your arms are like just, attached to your side and you're just walking around looking all stupid. But like whenever you like look around at your surroundings, like when you're playing Cyberpunk, like in the first, this is not a spoiler, not story related, but you're sitting at this like booth in this club or in a night bar or something talking to this dude. And you start looking around and like everything about the way that the character is like sitting at that booth and is like looking around, like your body is like actually posed the way that you would imagine it would be. like arms, like the way that the arms are crossed, like on the desk, and his knees like propped up a little bit. That was like, I was immediately blown away. I was like, I don't know why I was fixating on the way that this player model looked, but it's always like that. Like no matter like how you are in whatever environment you're in, like the player model is like fully like animated to match what's going on around it. Little quality of life thing, but it's like this. And again, I'm playing on PC, but this is like the first game I've played that actually feels like a next gen game. So even though it's a current gen game that runs like crap on current gen or old gen, I guess. But yeah. So, Michael, I know you've only played for like 15 minutes, and you only sat in an awkward car ride. But I guess just to give you something to talk about, how was your time with the character creator? Was it funny? Was it funny? Because it was really funny for me.
I mean, it was. I made him kind of, I guess a little bit like me, but like with like teal hair. You know, and then I was like, I thought I'd skip something because I'm like, is he just V? Like, I don't like, where's the character renamer? So I guess it's just V. And then I gave myself a normal floppy penis because I read an article that was like, that's, you know, like, why not give yourself just a normal penis? So
I got a question about that.
I mean, I made him cut, but I mean, you know, you can change, I guess, different aspects of your wing wang if you want to.
Yep. What's your question, Richard?
And it's actually a serious question. And Chase would actually be the only one that can answer it.
Why? Because of the higher achievement status than you?
No.
Wow, shots fired.
Wow.
Shots fired.
No, it has to do with the fact that he's playing it on PlayStation. So I don't know. Have you played Conan Exiles?
I have not.
All right. So on Conan Exiles, in the character creation, there is an area where you can do the same thing. You can adjust the size of your manhood, but Sony wouldn't allow that. It's present in a PC game, but it wouldn't pass some kind of Sony ratings board thing or whatever. So when you play Conan Exiles, you see the option in character creation, but it's grayed out. You can't mess with it or anything like that. So in Cyberpunk 2077, you can modify your genitals and everything?
Yep.
See, that's so weird. I wonder how, for Conan Exiles, it didn't get past the ratings board, but in Cyberpunk, it does.
Right.
That's
really odd.
What's the
because
year
in
difference
Cyberpunk
between these two?
they've normalized penises because they've had to adjust the amount of dildos that are in the environment. So they've just normalized penises, is for all intents and purposes.
There are no sex toys in Conan Exiles, so you may be on to something there.
Steven, to answer your question, I believe Conan came out in, what was it, 2017, I think? Maybe 2018? It's not that old of a game. I don't think.
I'm telling you what,
he's gonna find it real quick.
I'm gonna boot it up right now. So y'all
look, don't be putting no floppy PPs on this stream.
I'm gonna do some live action research here.
Oh Lord,
I know I've got it. Where is it at?
Well, anyway, I don't have a lot of more stuff I can say about Cyberpunk right now, but we are planning a separate special bonus episode where we just have a bunch of people that come in and we just talk about Cyberpunk, and it'll have story spoilers so we can really talk about like how each of our play styles is different, because one of the big things with Cyberpunk is that literally every decision you make can impact the way that your end game plays out. So even though all three of us are playing the Street Kid route, one thing that I do could make my game completely different than Chase's or Michael's. So that's
you
really
can have multiple save files too. I mean, it's kind of like like Skyrim.
Richard, do not put PPs on the screen.
Oh no, it's not going to let me. That's my point.
Oh well.
I mean, it will if you just take your pants off.
We're not going to do that.
But anyway, so we have that. So while Richard's getting
His pants on.
Yeah, Conan's pants off. Let's go ahead and start wrapping up and just talk about what we're playing this week. So, Steven, I know you were playing Modern Warfare as usual, but what else you got on your plate?
Apex Legends. I'm probably not gonna play Call of Duty as much, only because there's a reason I quit it for 2 weeks.
Raging.
And I know that's good. Yes, and it's gonna be a full circle thing. Like it literally messes with my mental. And with Apex, it's a different story. I guess partially because it's still a learning curve that I'm getting used to. Um, and I'm gonna be playing a lot of Dark Souls. Believe it or not, Call of Duty makes me rage harder than Dark Souls does.
Wow.
I don't think I don't think I've raged yet playing Dark Souls, and I haven't even made it past um what is it it's like the second area. It's because I'm doing a lot of exploring. I'm learning different things about the game. I'm still doing a lot of research and things like that, working on my parrying and stuff like that. So it's still that learning curve. Once I've learned what I need to learn and start making those mistakes over and over again, like I usually do, then you may see some raging. But until then, and then probably PS5. Just because my little brother loves it, he adores it, and nothing spells quality time like sharing a game with a family member. So
Yeah. So, Richard, I thought this was Conan, not Jesus Christ, the game. Like,
Well,
Jeez.
you start out that way. So I just want, it's still the same way even after the updates. If you look at physique over here, you have nudity, which I don't think you can. There's partial, but there's no nudity in this game. You've got a physique option. You have a breast size option, which you can completely adjust. And then you see below that, endowment is still grayed out. It skips down to finalized character. So you still cannot access endowment on Conan. Meanwhile, you can in Cyberpunk. And I really want an answer to that. I don't know why that's bothered me so much, but I don't understand how the ratings board passes one but not the other. Like, to me, that's got to be an interesting story.
dear Conan devs, why can't I change PP size in Conan game? Because I can do it in Cyberpunk. Get with the times. Sincerely, Richard.
Well,
please
what
don't
rating
call me
does
Dick.
Conan have?
Let's see here. I don't know if I can pull up like an review product. It is rated M for mature, 17 plus. Blood and gore, intense violence, language, nudity, and online interactions not.
Well,
so I don't know. I mean, that's really odd to me. It really is.
Well, Richard, while you got your PS5 pulled up, what have you been playing this week?
I have been playing Immortals: Phoenix Rising, which is pretty exciting. It's a lot better than Breath of the Wild, simply because the world is more alive and vibrant, and there's more stuff to do that makes sense. But I don't know. I kind of feel it almost has that same kind of quality that early Assassin's Creed games had, where you felt like you were kind of doing the same thing on repeat. There's a little bit of monotony. The story's really cool if you're into Greek mythology and stuff, and the narration by Zeus and Prometheus that continues at least through the entire game. It makes it worth it. But as far as just the actual gameplay itself, it's starting to feel a little bit kind of rinse and repeat-ish. And then I have started back on To Let It Die because there's 40 floors. I'm like on floor 37, and I stopped playing for a few months because of Demon Souls. So I got to get back to that. Other than that, Animal Crossing. It's Christmas on the island, and the little animal people haven't seen me in a while, so I'm doing a little bit of redesigning on the island and making them feel good about themselves, and that's about it. Animal Crossing and Immortals.
They're all like, you got some weeds out here you need to take care of.
Oh, yeah, there's a ton of weeds.
No weeds.
Ton of weeds, and then my little gorilla girl said that she was going to move, and I was like, you know what? I think that's probably a good idea.
Nobody likes her.
She turned in her 2-week notice.
Got this punk rhinoceros on my island.
So
As soon as I show up,
well, you know
she's
what's
like,
weird is
"No."
she leaves, and then this male gorilla comes in. He's pretty cool, so I think he's gonna be awesome.
Is it
But I don't know.
Pee-wee?
He kind of looks like Donkey Kong, whereas she looked like Donkey Kong in drag, and that was just really unsettling. So we're gonna stick with the male version of Donkey Kong.
Daniela Kong. Chase, what have you been playing this week?
I just platinum Ghost of Tsushima, and I really, really enjoyed that game. And then I hopped on Cyberpunk, and I've been playing that. So,
Are you still on the single playthrough, or have you started trying to do other playthroughs too?
Well, just
nice.
Yeah, been doing a lot of side missions because there's like 1,000 something side missions you can do.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
all right, Michael. Anything other than Genshin? I say it that way because that's all you play, but
I mean, yeah, that's it. I wanted to play a little bit of Fortnite, but that took a couple updates. So I was just like, I'll just play Genshin, and then like I wanted to play Warframe, but that needed an update. So I'm like, well, I'll just play Genshin, and that's all I've been playing. Unfortunately,
paid $60 for Cyberpunk, and I can't play this. I might as well play this game I've already beaten. Genshin has a new update coming out soon, doesn't it?
They do. Next week is the 1.2 update, I believe, or it might be in 2 weeks. I forget. But yeah, they're about to have a new update, release a new area, unlock, have some new dungeons available to raid, and kind of buff your ice and your water element characters. So that'll be nice. Gives ice elementals like crit damage, and so that's gonna be really broken. Freezing and crit.
Nice. For me, I've actually been able to, since this is the first week I haven't had school to deal with. I've really I've been playing Cyberpunk. I think I've got like 10 hours in it now. So that's been fun. I finally got to the point where the prologue ended, and now I'm in Act 1 because I got the Cyberpunk logo to pop up on the screen finally. So that tells you where I'm at with it, or anyone listening. I was able to get Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity finally. I'm just a couple missions in. If you have played that or just the demo for it, Impa is a beast, where she just kind of just sucks the souls out of everybody and makes clones of herself. So I just have like 8 Impas running around and just cut everybody up. It's been great. And since there's a new Smash fighter, I had to pick up Smash because I'm obviously going to be playing that for like a week. And I finally got the other next-gen gaming console, the Game & Watch. My camera's backwards. So we'll not be opening this. It's going to sit on my shelf until it's worth a bunch of money. My Mario 35th anniversary collection is almost complete, except for the exclusive pins from Target that I'll never get. But that's just showbiz, baby. It is what it is. All right, let's get out of here. Everybody, let's plug some social medias. Chase, as our honored guest, if you have any social medias or any projects you're working on that you'd like to let everybody know about, let them know.
I really don't have anything at the moment. I do recommend people follow Cheap Ass Gamer on Twitter or Facebook because they always post really good deals on video games. You can usually find stuff on sale before anywhere else. That's just about it for me, though.
Okay, Michael.
I have stuff. Unsolicited nudes. We're still going steady as far as follower count. Open box tech deals. There's a lot of stuff going on this week and until Christmas, really. Epic Games is going to have, I think, like a whole week of games. They're going to have like a new game every day. Ubisoft, they're releasing like either a new game or content for games for free for grabs every day. Yesterday was, I think it was Starlink Battle for Atlas. for PC that was up for grabs today. It's something for Watch Dogs Legion.
Oh,
Some
okay.
content for that, not the game itself. But they did say this: if you don't have the games and you claim the content, it's still good for when you do eventually get the game. So if you don't have Legion, go ahead and get the content, and you'll have that content for later on. So yeah, just jump on that. Warframe made the jump to Epic Games Store, and there's some Unreal content for that. So some new skins and weapons if you're playing on the Epic storefront. Spellbreak, which is Epic's game, has made the jump to Steam now, and they have a new season and a new costume up for grabs for free. And what else? Oh yeah, and also all the your typical console freebies for the month. Don't forget to grab those.
Yep. All right, Steven?
You can come check me out on Twitch, The Breaks, THABREAKZ. I'm planning on either later on tonight or early in the morning, streaming some more Dark Souls. I'm just infatuated with that game now. Thank you, Richard. And also, I'm going to start working on some music on my Twitch channel as well. I've had a few people actually get in contact with me and ask when the next time I was making one. So I'm going to be doing that pretty soon, probably 1 or 2 videos before the year's over with. And you can also find me on Twitter, The Breaks, or on SoundCloud, Breaker Beats 2020. I've been working on a few projects, and hopefully those projects that I stream on Twitch will be on there before the end of the year. We'll see, mixing, mastering, all that good stuff. But yeah.
Nice. Richard?
You can find me at a Board Game Breakdown on Facebook and YouTube. But I actually wanted to do a little PSA on something sort of unrelated. The PS5 remotes. I don't know how common this is, but I think it's common enough that it's Googleable, because you can find this out. The X and the O keys. Apparently for a lot of people, these are becoming really stuck or sticky to where when you depress them, they don't necessarily pop back out. You know, I usually take that with a grain of sand, but it actually happened to me. And this is the fix. It's not normal WD-40. This is Specialist Contact Cleaner, which is quick drying. It's made specifically for electronics. If you're one of the few that even got a PS5, but if you're one of the few even beyond that that's having this sticky issue button, this is like $5 or $6 a can. You can get it at Home Depot, Walmart, wherever you just want to kind of blast it around those buttons and kind of work them a little bit. Let it sit, and it'll solve the issue. So, again, that's the WD-40 Specialist Contact Cleaner that'll fix your sticky button issues.
Alternatively,
Impact is available to play on the PS5.
I was going to say, alternatively, just don't watch porn on your PlayStation, but, you know.
Can you do that?
Yeah. You
or
switch
just-
it to Japanese audio, and that's porn.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, we're talking about Genshin again.
oh Lord. All right. If you want to find me on anything, Twitch and Twitter at Meechflow. Tomorrow, like I said, is the big Sephiroth Smash Showcase hosted by our Lord and Savior Masahiro Sakurai, who is big fan, Mr. Daddy Sakurai. Anyway, before that begins, I'm actually going to be hosting just a public Smash Arena on my Twitch. Man wants to come by and hang out and get your ass whooped, I'll be there. Just come by. And then once the presentation starts, we'll be flipping over to that so you guys we can all watch it together. But yeah, and then next week, I know we weren't doing a video version last time this happened, but I'm going to be doing another special interview with Jason Tomlinson from Big Dad Games, who is a host of Smash tournaments in the area, and it's Jonathan Bly, who is also one of the tourney goers from there. Maybe somebody else, unannounced yet, but we'll see. So that'll be coming out next week, and then hopefully we're going to have, like I said, that a Cyberpunk specific discussion sometime next week or maybe the week after, but we'll see how that goes. But don't forget to follow the podcast on Twitter, twitter.com/NGNW podcast. It'll be in the description, along with every link that everybody posted about, except for Cheap Ass Gamer, but I will make sure it's in there as soon as we get done recording. But everybody have a safe week, and we'll be back for episode 32, the week of Christmas. Woo. All right. Michael, take us home.
Remember, everyone, Anthem right now has a better Metacritic score than Cyberpunk 2077. And it's only about like $10 or free if you have the Xbox Game Pass. So, yeah, go ahead and jump on that train. This
free.
week's podcast is brought to you by Craigslist moms freezing their breast milk into ice trays and selling it. It's
That
the
sounds
breast.
real.
It probably
Is that a thing?
Bye, guys. See
It
you next
is.
week.